Hey, what's up everyone? Nick here. Welcome back to the Evil Within AKUMU difficulty walkthrough. And I'll be honest, I've been putting off the commentary for this video because it is the last long chapter of the game. So, chapters 12 through 14 are all pretty short. Chapter 15 is 43 minutes long, but there's a lot of cutscenes, so I don't have to do commentary over that. But this video here, this is going to be about 50 minutes long, and it is almost all gameplay. There is maybe 2 cutscenes near the end of the level, and that's it. So actually what I've done, and again, this is something that's kind of comes with the beauty of video editing, that you wouldn't know unless I were to, if I weren't to tell you right now, but I actually recorded the commentary for chapters 12 and 13 before recording the commentary for this video, just because sometimes, especially I find that like in the middle of a walkthrough or near the end of the walkthrough, I start to get a little burnt out with the commentary, and so I've discovered just some little tricks that help me get through it. So for example, I think this is just kind of a common thing, but like when I'm working on when I'm working on a physics problem, and let's say it's a really hard problem and I've been stuck on it for a couple days, and this has happened both in homework and in research. Real quick, there's going to be a statue on this merry-go-round, so make sure you pick that up. But like, what I've noticed is, or what I'll do is, let's say I'm stuck on a problem for a couple days, I start to get discouraged because I'm like, why can't I figure out this problem? I'm not cut out for this. What is going on? And I found that a good strategy is, what I'll do sometimes is I'll just open up like my freshman physics book, and I'll just spend maybe half an hour doing very introductory physics problems. They don't really serve a purpose, it's just that it kind of boosts my confidence. By doing little easy things that you know how to do, it makes doing the harder things a little more bearable because you just kind of build up that confidence beforehand. So essentially it's that same kind of principle that governs how I do my commentary sometimes. So like this video here, I didn't want to do the whole 50 minutes of commentary, at least at the time I didn't. So I said, hey, you know what, instead of sitting through 50 minutes of commentary right now, let's do 2 smaller videos first and then get to the longer video. And it just kind of mirrors that strategy of doing easy problems and then doing the hard problems. But yeah, I don't know, just sharing the ideas that go on in my head with you while I record. Now, this is incredibly important. If there is one thing you do in this game, make sure it is this. Go into this room right here and open the briefcase and collect the magnum. If you have not followed any instructions I've given you throughout this entire walkthrough, I don't care. Pick up this damn magnum, because this thing is going to be a lifesaver in chapters 14 and 15. Just a fantastic weapon, incredibly strong. And one thing you'll notice, and it'll finally come to fruition in this video, but I've been saving up my green gel for the past few chapters, so I have a lot of gel right now. I think I have 100,000 or maybe even more. I have intentionally been doing that because I knew that I was going to get the magnum in chapter 11. So once you do get the magnum, you want to use as much green gel as you can to fully upgrade the damage on it. Now, it's also going to be good to upgrade the reload speed and the clip capacity and the stock of the ammo, but those will come in time. The main thing you want to focus on is getting that damage up there, because we are going to use the magnum to easily kill the chapter 14 boss, and we're also going to use the magnum to kill the 2 keepers that appear in chapter 15. So, very, 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 very important weapon. And you're actually not going to want to use it at other times, so it's very tempting to want to use it. Like, say you see a Ruvik Doppelganger, but I don't use it during that because I want to save it for the bosses, just in case. I'd rather finish the game with extra magnum bullets than to run into a situation where I really need magnum bullets. So, but that's my strategy. It's my philosophy. You're not, under oath to follow it, but that's just my recommendation. Anyway, we're gonna come to kind of a challenging section here. So first off, there's going to be a haunted behind this fence. Shoot him in the head. If you're lucky, you might get a clean headshot on the first hit. Sometimes, though, it just doesn't work out, and it's really annoying. I've had numerous attempts where I have gotten the headshot. But either way, it shouldn't be too hard to at least knock him down, and then you can just finish him off with the match if you have to. Alright, but this is where kind of the hard part comes in. So what we're going to do here is when we first jump down into this area, there's going to be 4 haunted to deal with. And what we're going to do, best way to do this is to just equip a shock bolt, run around and try to get all 4 haunted close to each other, and then use the shock bolt and just kill all of them with a stealth attack. So you'll notice I'm not shooting at any of them, I'm just running around trying to get them all centered on the same location. Okay? So now it looks like they're starting to get kind of close. I'm going to go ahead and pop it. Stealth 1. Remember, to do this stealth attack from the front, you have to crouch down and then press A. You can't just run up to an enemy and press A. Somehow that guy happened to not get stunned. Don't panic. If that happens, just, knock him down with a different weapon and then burn them all the same. Alright, so those are the first 4 guys. That's the easy part. I never thought at the beginning of this game that I'd be saying killing 4 haunted is the easy part, but in all honesty, after you get to this point, it's pretty easy. Alright, but now what's going to happen is as you attempt to go through the gate, there's going to be more haunted that come your way. And what we're going to do is at first, we're going to just kind of run away from them. And what we want to do is kind of the same approach. We want to make sure they're all in the same location, and then we'll shoot a flash bolt and get the stealth attacks. You could also try to run past them. It is possible, but it's going to be harder on AKUMU mode. Like, that's something I did on my lower difficulty playthroughs, but on AKUMU, I recommend just kind of killing them, get it out of the way. It's 3 less problems to worry about. So, anyway, shock bolt, same strategy as before. Luckily this time all of them got shocked. So, there you go. Alright. And now there are some other things lying around, so you might want to just scavenge, because what's going to happen is as soon as we go through that blue door, we're not going to have time to look for any resources. So use this time to get what you can find, and now we're going to go through that door. So I'm going to go ahead and equip Shock Bolt, because I'm going to be using that for the machine gun enemy. Alright, and so here we go. Things are going to get started as soon as you pick up this blue item on the ground, which is a key card. So as soon as you pick that up, that's when things are going to start. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot a shock bolt right here, and that's going to be anticipating the enemy that comes through that door with a machine gun. Oh, so it's keys, not a key card. But anyway, here he comes. He's going to instantly get shocked. I'm going to just burn him so he's no longer a threat. Now there's going to be a couple enemies that approach you from the fence. Screw that, just make a run for it. And we can actually run. So I got pretty lucky there. That guy missed me. But even if he doesn't miss you, all you have to do is just pull out your sniper rifle, shoot him once in the chest, and then make a run for this door. So like I said, I got a little lucky with the fact that he didn't hit me. But like, just as soon as you go through the blue door, pull out your sniper rifle, shoot him in the chest, knock him down, and then make a run for it. You should have plenty of enough time. Plenty of time. Wait, is that right? Plenty of enough time? That sounded really stupid. You should have plenty of time to run past. And once you get to this area here, the haunted will not chase you. So, actually, that part there is that part's one of the harder parts in the level. It's not the hardest part in the level. It does get harder, but that part is challenging. So it's good to get it out of the way early, I guess. But anyway, now on to the next section. When you fall into the water here, you're going to notice a cut in the video because I had to find this key. But there's a statue floating in the water, and if you push that over to the car, you can smash it and get the key. Try not to smash it away from the car because then the key might sink. So just be careful. But anyway, now we have some downtime. Things aren't going to be too difficult for a while. So I guess I have a question for you guys. As you know, I like to think of some questions here and there. But basically what's going to happen is you're going to be introduced to this really stupid fish monster. I hate underwater monsters. Ever since my first encounter with Del Lago in Resident Evil 4, I despise underwater monsters. And it's a big reason why I'm afraid of large open bodies of water. I do not go in the ocean. I do not go in rivers, usually. The swimming pool. My swimming pool is about as big as I'll go. Because I'm just terrified of being in large open bodies of water, especially when the water's not clear, which unless you're like in the Bahamas or something, the water is never clear. But yeah, so all you got to do here is you just got to shoot the bodies into the water. That will cause a distraction, and then it will lure the fish away from you. Or as you can see I'm doing right here, I'm just going to run over to this billboard. I'm going to just throw a bottle over there in the water. I actually fell into the water right next to the fish there. But it's actually really easy just to swim past this guy. Anyway, so the question I wanted to ask you guys is, you know, I think a lot of times there's this kind of stereotype for gamers that they're these nerds that do nothing but play video games. But I've met a lot of gamers who have a lot of other interests, and for me personally, a huge interest of mine is sports. I used to be a big athlete all my life, and I played baseball and basketball. Those are my two favorite sports. I'm not much into football, but it looks like my story is going to get interrupted for the moment because this is kind of an important part. So what you're going to want to do is once you get to the end of this area, there's going to be a Ruvik Doppelganger. So hold back for a little bit, and what's going to happen, there's actually another briefcase up here. If you haven't already picked up the magnum, you'll be able to get the magnum in this briefcase. If you have picked up the magnum, then there's going to be ammo in the briefcase. So either way, you're going to want to make sure to stop by and pick it up. Now there's going to be a couple haunted nearby. I recommend burning them. You don't have to, because what ends up happening is as soon as you kill the Ruvik Doppelganger, those haunted will go away. But as you're about to find out, there are going to be more than one Doppelganger on AKUMU mode. So unfortunately, there is a time limit. Ruvik will spawn the Doppelganger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprint up to him as fast as I can. I didn't want to be this far away from him when he spawned, but you see there I shocked him just in time too, because those hands would have killed me. So there goes the first Doppelganger. Now I got to kill the second one. I'm going to do the same strategy, just shoot him with a shock bolt and then burn him. They're actually very easy to kill. The only reason they become a threat is if you don't notice them, and if those hands get you before you can get a good shot on the Doppelganger. But anyway, with them out of the way, you can scavenge the area. There's a lot of green gel, there's a lot of matches, and then we're going to go into the next area where there's a hospital where we can upgrade the magnum. So anyway, like I was saying, I'm a huge fan of sports. I love baseball, basketball. Whether or not you agree it's a sport, I've always loved skateboarding. I still do all three of those things occasionally. Not very well, mind you, but I still do them. But the point is, the reason I bring this up is because right now I just realized the Diamondbacks game is starting. So for those of you who don't know, I'm from Arizona. Our baseball team is the Arizona Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks, I should have enunciated that better. And right now they're doing really well. So they're second place in their division, and they've won 11 games in a row, which is insane. And they have not been easy games. It's been against like the Dodgers and the Rockies, who are their two biggest rivals in the division. So I'm not watching the game obviously because I'm doing commentary, but I'll probably watch it when I'm done. But the point is, that's the question I kind of want to ask you is like, what are some of your guys' hobbies outside of video games? Do you play sports? Do you collect comics? That's another thing I do, is collect comic books. But I'm curious to know what are some of the other things you guys do. Are you students? Are you in academia? Do you work at Circle K? I don't know, just anything. Feel free to let me know what you do when you're not playing video games. Anyway, so we are back at the hospital. We've collected a couple keys, so I'm going to swing by the morgue to get what I can get. Try to stock up on as many bolts as I can. Those are going to be very important in the next section. But now comes the really important thing. I'm going to upgrade the Magnum, damage 2, fire rate 2. I'm just going to start upgrading as much as I possibly can. So I've been saving my green gel for quite some time. So you'll notice I brought my damage multiplier to level 4. I'm going to upgrade the stock to level 3 so that I can carry more bullets at a time. Oh, okay, so I ended up bringing the damage multiplier all the way up to level 5. So definitely try to increase the Magnum as much as you can. And if you haven't been saving green gel, that's okay. Just try to save it from here on and use it towards the Magnum only. Anyway, you noticed a cut in the video there. That's because you're going to get a checkpoint at that location. And this part here is, in my opinion, one of the hardest parts in the level. Maybe even in the game. For me. From my search online, most people didn't seem to have too much trouble with this area, but for me, it just took so long. I don't know why. I'm going to try to show you the best way to get around it, but either way, it's just a hard section. Like it or not, it's tough. But anyway, you can kill the first two guys really easily with your sniper rifle. So there's going to be this second guy over here, and he's just hanging out. For some reason, he doesn't move, so that's a free headshot. Now what I'm going to do is equip a flash bolt. The three enemies, I'm going to try to get all three of them out, and then I'm going to shoot the flash bolt, and then I'm going to stealth kill all three of them. Now, I do want to point out, as always, I like to give credit where credit is due. I did watch Mike Betancourt's video on this part because I was having a lot of trouble. I didn't necessarily follow his strategy 100%, but if you really paid attention, I'm sure you could see some similarities. So I feel like it's important for me to just let you guys know that I did watch Mike Betancourt's video on this level. So I like to put all that out there to avoid any claims of plagiarism or anything of that sort. Anyway, now I'm going to drop a flash bolt. The next three enemies are going to come through the door. I'm going to burn them. Alright, and so the tricky part here, what's going to happen is once you spawn this next wave of enemies, so notice how what I did, this is kind of my own unique approach. What I did was I opened the door, I got a couple enemies out, and then I ducked back against the door, and I'm going to make sure these two enemies die. Because what happens is once this third wave of enemies spawns, there's going to be a sniper off in the distance, and this is a really good spot to stand to take him out. So you can see him right up there on that balcony. I'm just going to kind of hide behind this ladder. He's going to shoot his shots, and then I'm going to go for the kill. And this is where you can actually use the door to your advantage. So that door, that yellow door, will not open unless you get far enough away from it. So that's the benefit here, is I don't have to worry about any other enemies spawning through the door because I'm standing so close to it. And now, there was one more enemy that I wasn't able to actually get out of the door, so I'm just going to kind of step away a bit, get him out, and now I can go to town. Alright, so for some reason I didn't drop a match right there, but here we go. Alright, so here come the next wave of enemies. One thing you can do too is you can stand by the door just to kind of collect your nerves and plan your approach. Because as long as you're standing by that door, they're not going to come at you. But anyway, what I decided to do is I'm going to run all the way back here and I'm going to crouch. And that's because the next wave of enemies are going to have a lot of weapons. And if you crouch behind this structure, they should not be able to hit you. I'm going to let these two guys drop down, shoot a shotgun shell, and then burn them. And then immediately go back to crouching in this location. And this is, I'm just going to kind of rinse and repeat this strategy. So here come the next set of guys. They both have machine guns. They drop down. One shotgun shell. They're close enough together to where the blast will hurt both of them. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to drop a match there because there's going to be another one behind the door. And this guy is the hardest guy to kill. So what you're going to want to do is hide behind this thing, let him shoot, pop up, and try to shoot him with the sniper rifle as best you can. I could not find a better way to kill this guy. He killed me probably 6 or 7 times. He's just hard to kill. And it's just, that's how it is. He's just hard to kill. But eventually, I couldn't believe it. 2 sniper shots, and finally he went down. I thought one would do the trick. But anyway, guys, that's the entire section. So I feel like you could probably pick out some good strategies that I used during that. But it's just one of those areas where I don't think there's a perfect strategy. I do not think there's a bulletproof approach. I think it's just something you have to do. You have to persevere. There are little things you could do, like notice how I took advantage of the shock bolts. I hid behind this structure, and I let the machine gun guys come to me so that I could kill them with a shotgun shell in a match. So yeah, there's little things you can do to help, but overall, it's just a tough section, and that's just the reality of it. Unfortunately, that's how it goes in games sometimes. But I will say that that's one of the hardest parts in the level. In my opinion, it's one of the hardest parts in the game, or at least for me it was. So the good news is once you get through it, of course you're one step closer to beating this game on AKUMU mode. However, we have one more tough area to deal with, and I will tell you right now, you know, I already told you that if you could beat Chapter 6, that you can beat this game on AKUMU. But even if you're still having doubts, I will tell you with 100% certainty, if you can get through the next section, which is the gondola ride, if you can get through that, you are good. You are clear. So after Chapter 11, I beat this game pretty quickly. So I promise you, just get through that part and you're golden. But anyway, there's going to be a sniper up here. I recommend not wasting sniper shots taking him out, so I just decided to rush him in between shots. Pretty easy to do. And there we go. Alright, so now what's going to happen here is you're going to have to turn this crank, and when you do that, there's going to be 2 snipers that spawn, and there's going to be a couple haunted. The game kind of gives me a weird checkpoint, so you are going to see a weird cut in the video, but I'm going to try my best to make it a smooth edit. Now there are some traps around here, so do be careful with those. You don't want to ruin your progress by running into them. But there are also some bear traps, so feel free to disarm those for some free parts. And again, remember, you can disarm the wall traps. It's just I'm not good at it. I can't do it, so I never do it. I never once did it successfully. So eventually I abandoned it completely. I'm just not good at it. It's important when you play on, I guess, any game, not necessarily hardest difficulties. You have to know your abilities. You have to know your limitations, and you have to adapt accordingly. So like I knew I could not disarm those bombs, so I just said screw it. I'm gonna either shoot them or run around them at all times because I know I can't do it. And that's just how it is, unfortunately. Alright, so here we go. I've picked up everything in the area, besides these matches. Now I'm going to turn the crank. And remember, as soon as you turn the crank, you are going to get a checkpoint. And there's going to be 2 snipers that spawn, and then a couple haunted that spawn. Now, one of the snipers is a threat. The other one's actually not going to really be much of a threat because he's going to go hide. So it's really just the first one that becomes a threat. But here you see, here they are. Okay, so I don't know if they're, yeah, I think they have sniper rifles. Anyway, as soon as the checkpoint spawns, you're going to shoot this guy. Kill him as fast as you can. This is your priority. Now the second guy is going to be down below, so you don't really have to worry about him. Instead, what you want to do is shoot this guy when he comes up the ladder, stand near him, and then drop a match, and you can burn 2 enemies in one go. Now there is going to be one more guy. Just kind of take the same approach, use a shotgun shell. You can see I only have 1 shotgun shell left, so I am getting kind of nervous at this point. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do. And then, like I said, there's going to be one more sniper down below, and he's just going to kind of hide. He's not very aggressive. He's going to hide, and I think what the game wants you to do is the game wants you to forget about him so that you run out, and then he'll just shoot you really quickly. So right here, I tried to kill him with a grenade. I think it ended up not working, but it did flush him out. So I think he ended up moving. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rush him. I mean, the good thing about the snipers, especially if it's only one, is they're relatively easy to dodge because they usually only shoot 2 rounds at a time. So you can basically crouch, let them shoot, and then just run up to them. So you see here, he's going to make another run for it. So I'm just hiding behind this pillar. He's going to shoot at me. Oh, so he's not a sniper. He's a machine gun guy. But you can see there, all you got to do really is just hide, wait for them to finish shooting, and then make a charge for it. One haunted with a gun isn't much of a problem. It just becomes a problem when there's other haunted in the area or when there's traps lying around or anything of that nature. Alright, so we're about to move on to the hardest part of the level, which is the sky lift. There's a lot of names for it. Sky lift, gondola, ski lift, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I think you know what I'm talking about. It's pretty hard. And luckily, though, it actually didn't take me too long to get through it. I'd say it took me about half an hour, I think. So that was pretty fortunate. And if I can do it, you guys can do it. So go ahead and climb the ladder. Now, the main weapons we're going to be using are the pistol and the explosive bolts. Though that's pretty much all I'm going to use on this fight. And the good thing is this fight is actually pretty consistent. So if you can develop a good routine, you can get through it. It's a pretty deterministic fight. So if you just stick to your routine, you should be able to get it. But I'm going to show you what I do right here. And it seemed to work pretty well. But sometimes a little luck does help. Anyway, you're going to wait for the enemies to get as close to the ledge as possible. Because then once you shoot them, they'll fall down. And it's a one-hit kill. So you see right here. One shot, he's dead. Shoot the barrel. He's dead. Alright, so those are the first 2 guys. They will always spawn on the left. Easy to kill. Super, super easy. Alright, so now what I'm doing is I'm prepping my shock or my flash bolts. Those are going to come in handy. You want to have probably 3 of them. Now you're going to kill this guy. He'll fall off. This guy's next. He's standing next to the ledge. There he goes. Now this guy's going to stand near the ledge. There he goes. One more guy. And that's the second wave down. So that's 2 waves down. I think there's like 4 waves total. Now the next guy, he's going to run over here with a machine gun. So I'm just kind of cheating a bit, prepping my aim. There he goes. Now you're going to shoot a flash bolt here. Then you're going to shoot a flash bolt on the left. And then you're going to shoot a third flash bolt on the left, but on the upper floor. And now that all of the enemies in the area are flashed, we're going to go to work. So I'm going to shoot those barrels to kill a bunch of guys. I'm going to shoot those barrels to kill a bunch of guys. Luckily, the barrel on top exploded because of the barrels on the bottom, I think. Now I'm going to make sure this guy doesn't sneak up on me. And now there's only one more guy to worry about. And there you go. So you can see just how effective those flash bolts were. They really bought me the time I needed to shoot all those barrels and kill a lot of enemies in one go. So like I said, guys, that's a pretty tough section. But as long as you find a good routine, you should be okay, because the enemies will always spawn in the same area. It's very consistent, which is a good thing. And yeah, like I said, once you get through that fight, you are done with AKUMU mode. The rest of this chapter is easy. Chapter 12 is easy. 13, 14, 15, all easy. This is truly the last hard part of the level. So if you're here watching this now, congrats. You're going to do it. Alright. So 2 things you want to get in this area. First off, go ahead and jump this gap. And there's some magnum rounds for you. And then if you drop down and turn around, you can see a map fragment on the ground that you want to pick up as well. Alright, so let's see. I'm trying to think in my head what's left of Chapter 11. Like I said, the rest of it's pretty easy. There's not much to worry about. So yeah, remember my question. What are your guys' hobbies? And then specifically, are there any sports that you guys like? So I told you I like basketball and baseball. So baseball is my favorite to play. I just grew up playing baseball. That's a big part of my life. But my favorite sport to watch is actually basketball. It's just much more intense. It's a faster paced game. But baseball's a really good game to watch while I'm doing homework. So in fact, after I finish recording this commentary, that's exactly what I'm going to go do. I'm going to go turn on the game, and I'm going to watch, or I'm going to do homework. And the reason for that, in case you've never watched a baseball game, it's a slower paced game. Baseball, a lot of people don't like it because they say it's just too slow, it's too boring. I think it's a game that you really have to have played to appreciate, and even then, not everyone appreciates it. But the thing with baseball is, because it's a slow pace, you don't even need to watch it. You can just listen to it. It's pretty entertaining to listen to, and so what I'll do a lot of the times is I'll take out this table and put it in my living room. I'll crack open my notebook, and I'll just work on homework and listen to the game, and then occasionally I might look up to see what's going on. I've tried the same thing with basketball, but it just doesn't work because, for example, in baseball, you'll hear something like, all right, the count is 3-2. Montero steps up to the plate, and the pitch is foul. And that's kind of how slow it goes. You know, sometimes something exciting will happen, but that's kind of the pace. In basketball, it's like, oh, Nash dribbles down the court. He passes the Stoudemire. Alley-oop to Marion. Oh, but Kobe Bryant steals it. And it's just, there's so much happening. It's really hard. You have to watch it. You can't listen to basketball. At least in my experience, or in my opinion, I guess. But anyway, back to the hospital. We're going to cash in our keys, get as much stuff as we can, make some upgrades if you want to, maybe take the chance to save your game so that you never have to do the Gondola fight again. And now what we're going to do is we are going to go save Kidman. Alright, so let's see. Where am I going? I'm just running around looking for supplies. I think I got lost in this area a couple times. Yeah, this room kind of pissed me off. Oh, never mind. There's green gel. I thought at first the room had nothing in it, and I was like, are you serious? But yeah, so as soon as you have checked everywhere and you have everything you need, you're good to move on to the next section. So again, I'm just kind of double checking, making sure I got everything. And then I forgot what window I was supposed to go through. Obviously not those windows. Jesus, Nick, come on. I should have probably cut this footage out, but at this point, the video's 50 minutes long. What's a couple extra seconds? Here we go. Nope, I still don't know where I'm supposed to go. I honestly don't know what I'm doing here. I can't remember what it is that caused me to do that. But anyway, now I'm in the back room. And this is where you need to go. So, here we go. So sorry about that. I don't know what was going on there. Wasted a good 30 seconds. But yeah, so Kidman's going to be up on that balcony there. There's going to be some haunted reaching through the window at her. Now, what you can actually do is you can kill those haunted right now with your sniper rifle, and that will make your life a little easier later on, but that's going to depend on if you have the ammo to do that or not. So, anyway, this gate is going to open, and it's going to let the fish monster into this area. So, once it opens, you're going to have to time it correctly. It's something you get used to, but you're going to swim through, and then you're going to swim as fast as you can over here to this white car. And that's pretty much what is going to happen throughout this entire section. You just have to time things correctly so that you can dodge the fish. Alright, so now my next objective is to get to that staircase in front of me. Only because there's some ammo on top and you can use it to snipe those enemies. But you don't have to. You don't have to go up there. So I just threw the bottle over there to distract the fish enemy. I don't think it worked. But so now I'm going to head over to this staircase like I mentioned. And I think the only thing up here is some pistol rounds. But you do want to be careful because there is going to be a sniper in this area. So you can either take him out from here or you can take him out later on. But there he is. You can see him down there in the center of my screen. So right now he won't even see you. Very easy kill. And then like I said, if you want to, you can actually snipe all the haunted that are currently surrounding Kidman, but you don't have to. I think what happened was I did it initially, but then I died, and I didn't want to have to keep redoing that every time I got killed, so I ended up just abandoning it, and I said, alright, screw it, I'll kill them all later when I'm actually in that room. So either approach works. It's whatever you feel most comfortable with. Alright, so this part's a little tricky. You have to get over to the next car, but there is the fish. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot this body. I'm going to miss a couple times. But, so now the body's in the water, and now I can make a swim for it. That's exactly what I'm going to do. So instead of swimming to that car, you can actually swim over here. I don't know what happened there. That was really weird. But you can swim to this car, and then you can jump over to the wooden plank in front of me. And so now, again, this door is going to open, and you're just going to have to time this correctly. So you can see the door will open, and then it'll shut pretty quickly. Alright, so that's to get the timing down, and now we're going to make our move for it. So I'm going to, again, just kind of wait here. You're safe up here. Those fish monsters are just really annoying in my opinion. But here we go. I'm going to jump over. I'm going to wait for the thing to open about a quarter of the way. Jump over the fish. That was cool. And then swim through. And as long as you time that well, they won't be able to follow you. And yeah, I think you no longer have to deal with the fish monsters. So that's a good thing. And now we just got to rescue Kidman. Alright, so once you get in here, you're going to want to be quiet because remember there are quite a few haunted in the area. You're going to get this really random upbeat music for no reason. I mean, this just came out of nowhere. Anyway, so the haunted are all going to be surrounding her. You'll notice there was a cut in the video there. That's because you'll get a checkpoint right here, and I died. But there you can see they're all still there by the window. So there's a couple methods here. You can use grenades and try to kill as many of them as possible. You can shoot an explosive bolt in there. One thing you might want to do is prep a shock bolt, but I'm going to go with the grenade route. I'm going to throw a grenade. I killed 2, maybe 3 of them right there. Now the rest are going to charge at me. So I'm going to get ready with a bolt. Boom, got all 3 of them. And then just finish them off. Wow, my words just slurred. Finish them off with a melee attack. Now there's going to be quite a few more enemies, so this is where, again, the bolts really come in handy. Unfortunately, that was kind of wasted on my part. But it did the job. Alright, and then once no more enemies are running at you, that's when you can go into the next room and meet up with Kidman. So I'm trying to think. I don't think we have not run into Kidman since the beginning of the game, if I remember correctly. We've come across Joseph a couple times, and we've seen Kidman, but we haven't actually been in the same room as her since the beginning of the game. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of crazy. Obviously, as you know by this point, she was off kind of doing her own thing. But yeah.
If you hadn't come along.
But I did, so you're welcome. Anyway, as soon as you rescue her, some enemies are going to breach through this doorway here, and Sebastian's automatically going to run to the left. So right here, this is all automatic. But then you're going to turn around, and really you're just going to try to let Kidman do as much of the work as possible. So she actually just killed one of the guys for me. She's pretty good. So there I just used a harpoon bolt because that's a piece of machinery, or that's a piece of ammo I don't often use. So I figured, hey, why waste bullets? I'm just going to use the harpoon. But you can see here, Kidman, she's doing most of the job for me. She's getting a lot of rounds in them. And there she goes. So what? I only had to waste 1 harpoon bolt there. So the AI in this game aren't that bad. So you're going to see also in Chapter 12 that Kidman and Joseph do a lot of work for me. So that's very good. The AI aren't terrible in this game. And there's one more threat you have to worry about, and that's going to be an enemy with a grenade launcher. Or not a grenade launcher. Why did I say that? I don't know why that popped into my head. There's going to be an enemy with a machine gun in the next room. So what you want to do is you don't want to just run up. You got to be careful here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my way up to the doorway, and you're going to see him spawn. So there he is. And now I'm just going to wait until he's done shooting. So remember, you can always charge them in between bursts. If you're lucky, maybe Kidman will kill him, but I wouldn't count on that. So I'm just going to let him, you know, keep shooting at me. And then eventually I'll make my run for it. Or I'll snipe him. Alright. So you can see that you don't have a lot of time. So if you are going to go with the sniper rifle, you got to be really quick. And I got him. An alternative approach is to just whip out your shotgun, run up to him in between his bursts of fire, and then take him out. Yeah, there's a lot of different things you can do. But anyway, we're getting close. I think there's about 10 minutes left, and there's not a whole lot of tough parts remaining, so that's good. There's going to be a key in this elevator here. This is really easy to miss, but all you have to do is press the elevator call button, and the doors will open. And voila, there's a key. Alright. So now we can move on to one of the creepier parts of the game, actually, in my opinion. And that is the mannequin room. So that's going to be in a couple minutes. I think it's really creepy, but we'll see what you guys think.
I'm so glad you're alright. Ever since the church,
You were at the church?
Yeah, Joseph and I. He's in bad shape, or at least he was when I last saw him.
What about the boy from the hospital? Leslie?
I found him in a cage. He freaked and ran, though.
And you know what? Now that I think about it, I was completely wrong. I forgot that we did see her in Chapter 5. We rescued her from the drowning tank, and then we traveled underground with her and Joseph for a short amount of time, but then eventually they got abducted. So scratch what I said earlier. This is not the first time we run into Kidman. It's just that it seems like we've spent a lot more time with Joseph than we have Kidman, so that's why I forgot about the Kidman moment. But yeah, I was wrong, but I caught my mistake, so all's well. Alright, anyway, almost done. Go through this door here, and then you're going to want to turn to your left, and you're going to see a mannequin down this narrow alleyway. And if you destroy the mannequin, you can see there's a map fragment on the ground behind it. I don't think you can pick it up with the mannequin standing in the way. Oh, never mind, you can. Alright, so we don't have to destroy the mannequin. We can be a good Samaritan for the day. Now continue through the alleyway. There's going to be some boxes you can break, some resources to gather. You know the drill by now. Right here in these two dumpsters are some green gel. I think, maybe just one. Oh, there it is, behind the dumpster. Anyway, then go ahead and climb up the stairs, go through the door. That's going to trigger about a 2-minute cutscene, and then we'll get back to the gameplay.
Sebastian? What is...
Stay back.
Alright, so after that cutscene, Kidman's going to be standing on the other side of the door, and what you have to do here is you just have to wait for Leslie to come and open the door for you.
What is this? Did you shoot me?
You started turning into a monster. You attacked me. I'm sorry, but you're tainted now. You might try to stop me through you.
Wait, what are you talking
Alright, so anyway, just fiddle around with both of the doors. They're both going to be locked, but if you just keep running around trying to open them, it's going to take about 20 seconds, but eventually Leslie will come and open the door for you. That's going to trigger another short cutscene, and then we're going to wrap up the video with about 7 minutes of gameplay. So, here you go.
Leslie? Leslie, is that you? Leslie, that's good. Just a little more. What is it? Ruvik?
Help! Help!
Hey! Leslie?
Alright guys, one more thing to do in this level, and that is the mannequin room. It's pretty creepy. It's a creepy room, but it's actually kind of fun, in my opinion. But you can see there's just case upon case of mannequin parts in here. And what's going to happen is on the lower difficulties, there's going to be a trauma in the area. But on the higher difficulties, there's going to be these spinning blades that we came across back in chapter... oh, I can't remember now, but we've seen these blades before, I think. Or maybe not. Maybe we haven't seen it. Maybe not. I don't think we have, actually. I think you see them in Chapter 13, but I think this is the first time we've seen those blades. But anyway, there's only 3 to get past. It's really simple. Just run past them and then get to this area here. And now this area is also pretty easy. So there's going to be a haunted right there. The only thing is you don't want them to see you. Now, I know that sounds obvious, but the thing is, if they see you, they're going to ignite their dynamite sticks, and because this is flammable, you're in a flammable environment, you're going to die automatically. So do not let them see you. You do have to stealth this section, but just stick to the outer perimeter of this room, and then as soon as this guy turns around, you can sneak into this storage container here. There's going to be the key card on the ground. Now on lower difficulties, there's actually some haunted in there, but on higher difficulties, that's not the case. and then you just make your way back. And the thing is, in this room, there's like a wheel that it kind of misleads you. It makes you think you have to turn the wheel, but you don't. The only thing that happens if you turn the wheel is the gas turns off, but it's completely irrelevant. You don't need to do that. So anyway, now I'm just going to wait for this guy to run his route. I'm going to wait for him to go back to the other area. And now you're going to want to equip your crossbow and equip a shock bolt or a flash bolt. Because as soon as you open this door, there's going to be about 3 or 4 guys inside. This is not on the lower difficulty, only on this difficulty. So step back, shoot the bolt, and then while they're all blinded, just go ahead and climb the ladder. That part really scared me on my... I had no idea that was going to come on my first playthrough, so I opened the door with this grin on my face thinking like, yes, I beat it, I'm done with Chapter 11. And then I just about threw my controller out the window after they killed me because I just opened the door. I did not expect it. I don't know who in their right mind would. But yeah, that part really pissed me off the first time I played it. Especially because it's not hard to get past them. You just need a shock bolt or a flash bolt. It's just that no one's going to expect 4 guys to be hiding behind that wall. So that was pretty shitty. Alright, so we are pretty much done with Chapter 11, guys. There's some resources around here, and then there's going to be a save room that you can use to make any other upgrades, deposit your keys if you want to, anything like that. But before I go into the save room, I'm going to collect all the resources. That way I can use them, you know, in the save room. So first things first, there's some boxes right here. Go ahead and crush those. Then if you go into this storage container, there's a lot of ammo, but there's also a lot of tripwires. So go ahead and disarm those. Get yourself some free parts at the very least. Alright. And now I think there's one more thing we need to get, and that is the last key in the level. So you're going to want to equip your sniper rifle. And then go up these stairs here. And if you look up on this crane here, you can see the statue suspended from the end of it. So zoom in, pop the shot, and that key is going to drop right where we need to go. So if you want to save time, you can get the key later, like when you're about to finish the level. But I wanted to get the key now because there's no hospital in Chapter 12. So I just wanted to make sure I deposited all my keys when I still have the chance, because I'm not going to be able to do it until Chapter 13. So it really doesn't matter, though. I mean, it's just the only reason I did it was because I think I'm low on shotgun ammo, so I was kind of hoping that if I deposit the keys, I might get some shotgun ammo. So that's the only reason. And then in that other room, in the other room that I just passed, there's a haunted in there, and there's also some matches. So I didn't go in there because I didn't need the matches, and I didn't want to have to deal with the haunted. So I'll leave that up to you. If you're running low on matches, you might want to run in there. But anyway, last thing is there, like I said, there's a save station. So we're going to go back to the hospital and interact with that. So I have 2 keys in my inventory right now. I'm going to go ahead and deposit those and hope to God I get some shotgun ammo or something that will help me in the next couple of chapters. But like I said, it's pretty much all uphill from here. The rest of the game is very simple. Chapter 11 is the last hard part of the game. So yeah, so congrats if you've reached this point. You're going to beat the game on AKUMU mode, and that is no small feat. So good job. Alright, I think that's all I needed to do. I'm going to go ahead and return back to, quote, the real world, unquote. And, yeah. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching. This was a long video, a lot of commentary. As always, I try to keep it as entertaining as possible. I try to tell some jokes here or there. I try to, oh, so this was the room I was talking about. I forgot that I did go in here to get the green gel. But if you go any further, there's going to be a haunted in that locker. So I'm just going to go out the way I came, skip the matches, and get to the end of the level. But anyway, as always, I try to keep the videos as entertaining as I can, tell some jokes, ask you guys questions. But yeah, I mean, the truth of the matter is this is a long video, and I'm nearing the end of the walkthrough, so I'm starting to get a little tired. Not of the walkthrough, just tired in general. Like, it's a lot of talking. You guys got to realize that. It's a lot of talking I do in these videos, and it does kind of tire you out, believe it or not. Anyway, go up the stairs, and that will bring about the end of the chapter. Thank you guys for watching. Congrats, you are almost done with AKUMU. The hardest parts are behind you. Like and subscribe if you get the chance, and I will see you in Chapter 12.